A couple of days ago, the Lions defended their CSA T20 challenge title with a convincing 8-wicket victory over the Titans out at the Wandile Stadium. Now, they set a modest target of 120 for victory, and the hosts knocked that out of the park without a fuss. Now, to reflect on this title defense, we've roped in Lions batsman and wicketkeeper Wandile Makwethu. Wandile, thank you so much for joining us this morning with your two broken fingers.
Morning, thanks for having me.
You have to show those two broken fingers to our viewers sitting at home, and this is what the title defense came at the expense of. Talk to me about overall this campaign for you guys. How did you find it? Because we know that it didn't start the way you would have liked it to, but it ended exactly how you would have wanted it to.
Yeah, it was very pleasing to defend our trophy. We spoke a lot about in pre-season the challenges of defending a T20 competition. So like you say, we didn't start particularly well, but the conversations after that first game were about staying positive and looking to play cricket on the front foot. And fortunately for us, we were able to turn it around, and we're lucky to be sitting with the trophy now.
And I mean, you look at this Lions team just gaining the momentum at the right time. Talk to me about having former Proteas coach, you've got batsman, you've got bowler, and the likes of Coach Russell, you've got Hashim Amla there, and you've also got Alan Donald in this Lions team. How much does that bring to the team and what you guys are able to present on the field of play? Yeah,
we're truly blessed. I think we don't take it for granted. Those three names come with heaps of experience. They've played and coached the game at the highest level. So the opportunity to spend time with them, work with them, and improve our games with them on a daily basis, something we don't take for granted. And we'd be silly as players not to tap into their experience as much as possible.
I want to talk about the experience as much as possible in terms of your own personal game and what you've been able to achieve. When you look at your career out at the Lions before that, what do you make of the career that you've had? Are you happy with where you are? Are you happy with what you've been able to do with bat as well as being the wicketkeeper?
Yeah, personally, I don't believe in personal satisfaction. You know, there's always improvement that can be made. Up to this point, I've achieved a couple of things that I would like to have achieved, and a couple of things that are still out on the table for me to achieve. So the challenge for me is on a daily basis to improve my skills. You know, the ultimate goal will always be to play the game at the highest level. So that's something I'm still yet to achieve, but something that drives me every day.
Any major targets that you've set for yourself?
Not particularly. I think at the beginning of this season, I tried to remind myself the reason why I started playing cricket in the first place. As a young child, I fell in love with the game. It was never about playing for achievement or for money. So I really tried to get back to my roots this season. I think that's reflected in my performance somewhat on the field. I've started to enjoy the game a bit more, and I've found my love for the game again this season.
And as you speak about finding your love for the game again this season, how important would you say it is to have the right support structure and system that you've had? I mean, we all know that your dad was very busy as the Auditor General, but whenever he had the chance, he would be by your side, supporting you. How important a role has that played in your growth and your development as a player?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think I'd be the person or the cricketer I am without the support of my family. You know, you mentioned my dad, my mom. My brother and my sister spent long weekends on the side of the cricket field supporting and watching me. And that gave me the extra energy to go and push when times got tough. But certainly you wouldn't have a professional career at any sort of level without the support of friends, family. So I don't take that for granted. And I think whenever the days get darker, I'm reminded that I've got a support structure in my corner that look out for me and want the best for me, and that spurs me on in the tough moments.
And I mean, Wandile, we look at being a cricketer and we look at the amount of competition that exists. It's competition amongst yourselves as a team. It's a competition to try get into the national team. It's the competition for consistency over a longer period of time. What do you want to say to the young child sitting at home watching you right now, who's seen you being out at the Lions, who's seen you now having this title defense, who's seen you go through those rough patches, just in terms of motivating and saying, if this is what you've chosen to do, just see yourself through it?
Well, I think you mentioned competition for places, and I think if I were to give advice to a young child, you've always got to remember that cricket is a team sport at the end of the day. So if you can align your personal ambition with the team's ambitions and in that way put the team first, I think you'll find so long as the team is doing well, the individuals can do well as well.
And you speak about the team, and I have to touch on, so when you guys go out into your first game in this CSA T20 challenge, You go up against the Titans, not the ideal start. Speak to me about what the conversation is after that initial first loss, because you look at the Lions have a star-studded team. You've got the likes of Wandile Makwethu, who are youngsters that are coming up in the game. You've got a Sepamla, who had great tournaments. Talk to me about what that conversation looked like amongst yourselves following that initial result.
Well, I must be honest, we sat in the change room after that disappointing
Crying.
first result. Not crying, but we had a look at each other as if to say, well, that's not the best we can play. But also there was a glint in everyone's eyes that said, we know that's not our level, and as long as we can produce our level in the next game, we'll be okay. So we spoke long and hard after that first game and in training those next couple of days about the kind of standards that we want to produce as a team. We know we didn't produce them that first night in the competition, but as long as we can continue to push that standard as a team, then we'll be okay in the end, and that was the result.
And how does it look like in terms of you guys being able to hold each other accountable for your performance on the field? Or do you just say team effort, everyone wasn't great, or do you say individually we need everyone to be able to step up?
Well, I think in the team context, we've got to look at ourselves as individuals first. Where did we fall short of the mark? Where can you improve as an individual? And then when it comes down to the team conversation, we've got to be able to sit and have honest conversations with each other about where we could have been better. And I think the mark of a really good team is the team that can be honest with each other in the difficult moments, take accountability for everyone's actions, and then move forward with a new plan.
And a place where you certainly were better is that final against the Titans once again. Speak to me about what the future is looking like for you guys as the Titans. What are you looking to achieve, and what are your big focus areas moving forward after having won this title and knowing that once again next year you go again to defend it?
Yeah, so look, a lot of people talk about the treble in domestic cricket and winning all three competitions in one season. It's never been done before. It's not a focus of our team at all. But the fortunate thing is they say you can't win all three if you don't win the first one. So we've given ourselves a chance with the first one. The 4-day series starts soon for us, and it's another trophy that we'll be looking to defend. It's going to be really difficult. As a team, we've spoken a lot about the challenges of defending titles. You become a target of the other opposition when you're the defending champions. So we understand that challenge, but it's one that we relish. We'll take one game at a time, and we'll try our best to perform to the best of our abilities, and we'll see where that ends up.
Well, Wandile, thank you so much for your time this morning, and congratulations once again on becoming the champions, and we look forward to what you'll be doing this season. Ladies and gentlemen, that is Wandile Makwethu. He is, of course, a Lions batsman as well as wicketkeeper. They are, of course, the champions of the CSA T20. They were able to successfully defend their title.